D&D in space. Finger on and move it up and down, and it'll actually move the sink down to your location.
I happily hit the one that's going makes it go down.
All right, roll me a reflex save, because you drunk bitch.
Slam head to the fucking ground.
I see where this goes.
Alright, would that be in the...
So reflex would be dex under save. Sorry, I'm still a 3.5. I love 3.5, and that'll be where...
Yeah, we are 3-5 horse, even though I haven't played.
Yeah.
All right, so as you go to like put your hand on the panel and move it up and down, you kind of hit it with 4 fingers and then just kind of scratch it, and you're kind of looking up at the same time, and as you slap it, the sink kind of knocks you in the forehead as it starts to come down. It doesn't deal any damage, but you can tell your teeth chattered together on that hit. So it's like, ow, and then the sink's just in normal position.
Oh, you bastard. I know you're against me, you stupid techno. On one of these days, I'll rule the...
Right on, and I'm going to get you to roll a...
The PERC?
Yeah.
13 plus?
Yeah, so it's 13. Your passive perception is 13.
Yeah. Who's rolling a die?
All right, so as you're kind of like Michael Jackson pissing into the sink, one leg is over top of the sink on the mirror, and your head is like below the sink. You're holding on. It's just not working very well for you. You kind of overhear a small conversation happening in the stalls next to you, and you kind of identify them that these guys might actually be quite important figures. I'm going to get you to roll me a history check while I finish explaining what happens. As you kind of hear, you can hear that it's one officer talking to another, and then they're excited to be able to get back out onto the ships. Nothing really has been going on in our solar system, so it's been kind of like peace times, really. Like, the economic boom of all the planets trading with each other is just flawless. And they're talking about how excited they get to be the first ones to go explore the next solar system with the new slip drives that have been developed for the ships. And what you're able to discern is that they're actually talking about giant galaxy-class cruisers. I'm talking like 20,000 crew members plus. Like, these things are massive.
I rolled a 20.
Oh, we're talking fucking...
I know it good.
Yeah, so you're not necessarily you, but your teachers. The reason why they're teaching is because they were the ones that came up with the technology, not the slip drive itself, but like all the technology attached to it. So you guys have developed the screen console displays, the chairs, the beds, the ceiling, the floor, the shitter, everything you guys have had your fingers into. And you can kind of, yeah. So as you kind of like think back to it, you actually realize that you're very excited because nobody from your class has ever been even off, like outside of like just their 2 planets. And it's quite a travel at highest warp to be able to get out of your solar system. And you're just really happy to be there pissing upside down into a sink.
I laugh as I piss.
All right. So the other 2, so Reginald and Orca, you guys are kind of sitting too. And you can actually see movement coming from the command section. So everybody that's standing... like with their arm or sitting with their arms behind their back waiting patiently, you can see all 17 of them stand up, and they kind of come to attention, and you can start to hear the crowd quiet a bit. Where are we at? Okay, I need to know a short version of your name, Honky, because I'm going to have so much trouble with that. Narxatal? How do I pronounce it?
Just call him Narc.
So I thought about that, but that's not going to work so well. I would answer to my last name probably easier.
Okay, because that's
17.
Draken. Draken?
Or Drakrin. Drakrin.
Oh, it's a Q.
Q.
Fuck you, you pretentious bastard.
Hey, listen. We went through this, and this was the fucking worst.
Draw Queen.
Draw
Queen Phoenix.
Draw
Queen Phoenix.
I fucking hate you so much, but I'm gonna answer to it.
Alright, so Drakreen, you're standing at face out. You have been taught that service is life. You're expected to maintain a higher level of excellency than a lot of the other groups just because of where your background comes from. You've been in school for 6 years. This is the end of the times, but you guys are kind of like the Navy SEALs of the group. Like, there's something expected more of you than any of the other classes or any of the other sections in this game. So you and your buddies have just been waiting for attention for over an hour, waiting for the speech. And I'm going to get you to roll a perception check for me.
Wait.
In D&D, not real life.
That one! Yeah!
Good.
Hey, I'm not the only bad person that had bad roll. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm also going to get you to do a secondary roll, and it's going to be history.
Who?
Sit or preside.
He's going to the podium that's in, like, up. So just imagine in front of you, there's, like a 10-foot plateau. And on that plateau, it's kind of like Hogwarts. There's a long table, a big chair with a podium, and a long table.
Okay.
And you can see like a couple of the door opens from the kitchen, and a couple more high-ranking officers step out with a little bit more food.
I'm going to stand and go to full attention and salute before he goes too much further. Because military grade is before they hit the stage, you are to be at full attention and saluting before they even hit the stage.
Very good. All right, I want you to roll a D100 there, Honky.
It's a trap.
It is a trap. It's always a trap. It's the fucking military. Jesus Christ.
I'm glad you understand.
All right.
I served. Yeah,
so,
I understand.
So you stand up and you almost like kind of like push the chair out from you with your leg so that you never uncross your arms, and you happen to stand to attention probably about a half second before everyone else does, and you can kind of see the Admiral kind of eyeing you and giving you a nod as he steps forward, pulls out a pad and sets it on the podium. And all you hear is, attention! So everybody in the room just kind of looks up surprisingly, and then all start to stand up. All right, Fang, you're in the bathroom there, and you hear over the intercom system.
I quickly jiggle my thing to get the last drop. Might have made a mess. I have too drunk. I don't care. And quickly tuck him away, a little John away, and go back to the place I was before.
Right.
Forgetting to zip up my pants because drunk people forget.
Okay, so as everybody, so the Admiral just goes, attention! Then all you hear is the bathroom door kick open, and you see this fucking gnome running out with his hand on his cock, just running down the aisle back to his seat.
Yeah, I was tucking him away. It just didn't get zipped up. The barn door was left open.
Just straight shirt cocking it, like just flapping it in the wind, like you could skip rope with this thing. It's like a slimy monster.
Why are my pants so much tighter now? So, off note, just because we're making military and zipper references, there are only two branches in the entire world that do this type of training, and it is the Royal Navy and the American Navy, and they do training on how to remove your phallical member from a zipper.
Ooh.
I don't listen to people that aren't in frame.
I'm not in frame because listen, you know why I'm not in frame. You fucking Canadian. I can't do what you're doing, okay?
Right on. So as everybody comes to attention, the Admiral begins to speak. And all you hear is, as we venture forth to the great unknown, our paths become further and further away. We begin as warring clans, then greedy corporations, but finally the greatest alliance of worlds this side of Sempra Mora. As you follow your field of study outside of these walls, remember our creed. Interfere not in the internal workings of other cultures. It's unknown what may happen. You may have good intentions. but the future is hard to predict.
I got a Star Trek, Stargate, and a Rick and Morty reference all out of that story.
Yeah.
As you guys all sit down, you notice that a lot of the chefs have proceeded from the kitchen in 2-line forms, one going to each side of the room, starting in the center column, and they start serving food. And he says, "My friends, it's great to see you all here. I'm happy to call you all colleagues. Please, eat and rejoice." And you can kind of see them bringing out like this 5-star course meal for all of you guys. And it's just fantastic. You guys start to eat for a little while. Orca, I want you to roll me a history check, please.
Discreetly before I start eating, I'm going to scan my food.
I also had a question because I might have missed it. Did the Admiral give us permission to sit or to go at ease?
To go at ease and then sit and eat. Okay. In that order.
Say I'm not going to do any of those actions until he has given me the order to do so.
All right, so Orca, whenever you sit down and start to eat your meal, you're kind of looking around the table and everybody's just kind of really happy with themselves, really enjoying the time. But also, you kind of have a little bit of a remembrance of what it was like in the clergy. Where you were trained was, you were kind of you were brought to the church at a young age on the planet you're from. And what ends up happening in your culture is once you've attained a certain level of power, you're considered an off-worlder because you're then sent out off-world for your own adventures. So as you gain levels in your paladin, you're going to start to notice that you're going to have a lot of renown on your planet. So you're going to be well known. So a lot of the best adventurers are really high-level clerics and paladins. So that's kind of a little bit on your background and why you feel so, the reason why you want to be here and why you want to be a part of this armada is to kind of give faith to the people that believed in you back home. I want you to roll me a perception check. Bam. So you're eating and you take a look up and you can actually see that the pictures that are on the teleprompters that are all around the ceilings, they start to change one by one to all of the same image. And what you see is a warning symbol on the top left of the corner with the alert style for muster, which is a term that means all hands on deck. And you can actually see a live video feed of 1,000 ships coming through the wormhole. And they're coming into your galaxy. And all you see is, you kind of see the Admiral kind of lean his head down. And you can see him just kind of nodding with his hand over the mic. And he just goes, "Understood. Emergency zone factor 10. Everybody to your design locations. Move, people. This is not a drill." And as you take a look up onto the monitors, you can actually see a lot of the ships are starting to destroy space stations in plain view of the cameras. It's insane, these things. They don't seem to be too big of ships. They kind of resemble a cone with fins, almost. And you'll get a better description of it later. But they start, dive bombing this big station that's right near the edge of your known space. So what would you like to do?
Probably get up and go to wherever we're needed at.
Right on. As you guys take a look around, you can start to notice that through the center of the room, everybody starts filing out. But you don't see them filing out as groups. You kind of see them all filing out together there's a slight almost panic in the air. And I want everybody to roll me Constitution saving throws. With your training, and you just remember the motto, and you guys fight off the effects of fear, and you stand stalwart as you're walking down the halls all together. And as you kind of exit the main hall, you can kind of see that 300 feet ahead of you, imagine it's a fancy corridor with rooms sectioning off, but at the end of it, you guys can see out a large door, and there's a transport unit with vehicles flying in 300 miles an hour.
Okay. I will retract my statement of trying to go there if they're still standing there. I will go to my respected location after grabbing as many beers as I could physically carry.
Very good. So we'll say you can carry 3 because you'll need to have one main hand to be able to do stuff.
I got a tray of food and the finest, gnomish whiskey.
There you go. All right, so as you guys are running down, I'm noticing, so we got all the perceptions?
Yes. I nat 20 that thing.
Nice. So as you guys are running down the hallways, Victor, you happen to notice that at the end of the hallway, when everybody starts piling up, that everybody is coming out of the building 2 at a time. There's a guard on each side of the door handing out data pads as people walk by. And when you get yours, you notice that you're on you have been assigned to the ship Echo 1.
Oh, sweet. I'll take it and begin to head to Echo 1.
Very good. So, Orca, as you kind of progress through, somebody reaches out and grabs you by the arm and stops you from running. And you notice it to be your instructor, Yemma. Yemma is kind of like you. She's also an elf, but she's like butch, like snoo, gonna break your face with my thighs kind of chick. Like, you know what I mean?
Watermelon breaker.
Yeah, and you can see that she has a stone crown around her head. And I'm going to get you to roll me a religion check. Perfect. You're able to tell that she's, not only is she a cleric, but she has a little bit of barbarian in her. So she's a cross class. And she is like, she's beautiful. So she kind of goes, wait a minute. I must speak with you before you leave. A gift from everybody. We hope it helps. And she holds out her hand.
I happily take the gift from her.
Right on. So you just got your paladin focus. So she looks to you and says, listen, I know we never discussed this. This all came up too fast with the war going on. This is for you. I hope you find it well. And she just kind of like puts her arm around you and gives you a big hug. And you can kind of see like almost like a slight kind of like misty eye coming from her. And she'll ask you, do you have anything you want me to say to the rest of your colleagues?
Not specifically, besides that I will do my best to make everybody proud.
Awesome. You kind of notice that the focus that they gave you is it's very strange looking. Like you've seen it before throughout the clergy, but it's actually just kind of like, imagine an energy crystal in the shape of a tooth. But it has like a metal ring around the top that holds it and a string that you can tie it around your neck. And you can go ahead and pocket that. So at the end of the session, I'll tell you to write it down.
Yep.
And then you venture off forth. Who's next? We got... So you got the nat 20. You got that. All right, so Reginald, as you're kind of running forward, you're kind of running in with 2 of your other medical. You've
not running.
Okay, roll a reflex check, because you're gonna get trampled.
Oh, that's why I'm in the back.
Oh, are you in the back? Okay, very good.
I was gonna say clearly I'm using the notepad to send my project device stuff there or to the ship.
There you go. Right on. Okay, so what are you doing back there? So you have 2 of your medical doctors that are walking with the group, and you're back at the end.
I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna follow them, but like I have a limp, so
very good.
I follow as fast as I can.
Okay, so one thing that I want you to do for me is I'm going to give you a survival check, please.
Run, Forrest, run. Or Gimp, Forrest, Gimp.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go my full normal walking speed there.
Right on. So you're progressing through the hallway. Right-hand side, you see open and closing doors from people coming out from all facets of the building. You do notice that there's several pictures along the way on both sides of the walls that are very interesting looking. You have several humans. You have a tiefling that you've never seen before. You don't really, you know that it is a tiefling because you've heard stories about them, but you've never seen one in real life. But it has a picture of the consortium on his chest, so you know he's part of your faction. You see several wizards that have big scraggly beards. There's 3 of them in one painting, like back to back, all in army uniforms. And on the right hand side, you see a solo woman, an elf with no pupils. You just see like no irises, no pupils, just straight white eyes.
I'm just gonna like pause momentarily at the white eyes thing and be like, I'm fairly sure that is some kind of disease, and then I'm gonna keep going.
I'm pretty sure she's got AIDS. See,
Well, it's like, I'm fairly sure that's a symptom of something I've seen before.
Yeah. All right. And for fuck's sakes. And Mr. Draken, as you guys are kind of like at the front of the pack too, as your guys are running through, and you see all the red shirts. They're kind of congregating all together and go in single file. You guys all receive a data pad, and on it tells you what ship you're on, and you are on Echo 1. But there is a secondary message with an encrypted code attached to it. So it's like imagine like a data pad, and it tells you what ship you're going to. And it also has like an encrypted message on it that each moment.
My team near me? Or...
So all the red shirts are running in at the same time, and you're going in 2 by 2. And there's a guy on the right and a guy on the left handing out data pads to each person that goes by. And you get yours, and then it's just in your hands as you walk out onto the space dock, and you see like thousands of ships. Like, imagine,
give me that. I'll decrypt it. I mean, what?
Yeah, so imagine like little, like almost like 2-person vehicles. Like they're just small transport ships. They're like nothing massive. Like they don't have like slipstream ability, but they're just like interplanetary transports.
Copy.
They get the job done.
I mean,
does it tell you who's all going to be on that ship?
Right, yeah, like are we all going to be on that ship? Like what do I see from the things that it's telling me? Like I see what ship I'm on.
So it gives you the
like
it gives you the registry number of the ship that you need to get on, but not much else.
Oh damn, that's a horrible information tablet.
Yeah, so you're standing right in front of imagine like there's a pathway.
It's military. What do you expect?
So there's a pathway going left, a pathway going right, and a pathway going forward, and they all separate into small ship docks. There is a man next to a comm panel in front of each lane that you could probably speak to if you needed to.
I'm just going to search for... I asked them if they know where this ship number X is.
Right on. So you have one of 3 people to talk to. Which one do you want to talk to? The left, center, or right?
Center.
Okay, so you walk up to the center and you start clicking the keypads, and you're like reading your note as you're looking up, trying not to bump into people on the way by. And as you step forward, you kind of got to push yourself through the crowd a little bit, and you get to the front of the line. And there's a sectionary pad that's right next to him that looks like it's touch active. And as you look, you can actually see the space docks on the screen. So you see the pathway left, the pathway right, and the pathway forward. And it's a touch screen. So you hit the center one, and as it opens up, it gives you the registry numbers of all the ships. You don't see yours on the list, but you do know the Admiral's ship is definitely in the center somewhere. And as you kind of take a look over the keyboard, you can see like a decked out one all in gold and red, kind of like the regalia from fucking you don't like Destiny, but it's really, really chromatic looking. And you kind of take a look around, and you can start to see that a lot of the commands are going left, right, and center. Like everybody's filing out into their appropriate location.
Copy.
All right, so I'm going to hop over to Reginald. Reginald, when you're standing there and you get your port pad, you see the same thing that I just explained to Honky. But also that when you look up and you look at the pathways, The pathways themselves kind of go to the left, right, and center, but they actually go up the walls. There's an artificial gravity that connects to the entire cone of this place, and there's ships on the ceiling, there's ships to the right and left. So it's like there's an artificial gravity in the center of the room in a small pillar, and you're taken back by it.
The place is rotating.
You can actually see the signs of Terra right outside the window, and you can actually see the planet slowly moving, so you do know it's rotating quite quickly.
That's usually how they make artificial gravity.
Well, at least I'm not in for an uncomfortable ride.
Yeah, exactly.
Locating my ship and going to my ship.
So yeah, it's really hard to see where the ship in the hundreds of ships you see in front of you, but there's a kiosk going left, a kiosk going right, and we already know that Honky tried the one in the center and didn't find the ship, but he knows the Admiral's ship is there. So it's either going to be left or right, so you can pick one.
I'll go right.
You'll go right? Perfect. So as you venture off right, you take up your data pad, you place it up to the screen, and you kind of are clicking buttons. And it comes down that the registry number that you're looking for is in fact on the right side. And as you kind of take a look down the hallway, you can actually see it. It's actually not far away. It's maybe 50 feet down. But on the right-hand side against the wall, you see a lot of clerics giving blessings to soldiers as they're walking by. They're tapping their heads. So you know this to be the bless spell. So they're just giving them like words of encouragement, and you can kind of see like a light blue fingerprint last a half second on their forehead as they take their hands off, and they start running down the hallway. Very, very beautiful. All right, so I assume everybody is going to take off to the right-hand side just for argument's sake?
Yeah, for storyline stakes.
Yeah, for storyline stakes. Okay. So as you guys venture on, you all get into your own separate cargo ships, and as you take off, through the window, you see this. So I have to switch to the game board for the first time. And this is what you see outside the window of your ship. Getting it for you now.
Ah, there you go. You live.
Bam. So as you're coming out of the space station, this is what you see. And that, my friends, is Terra 1. That's your home planet. That's the planet you've been staying on getting trained. So it's cool. Very, very beautiful. And as you can actually feel slightly the movements of your ships as it zips and darts and drags. And you start to notice that you're coming across another ship. It's kind of hidden in the darkness of the moon a slight bit. And you guys all end up locking into its vehicle bay. D&D in space.